It is the summer of 2023 at a McDonald's drive-thru in the American Midwest. Two friends pull up to order and a calm synthetic voice greets them. Within 90 seconds, they will be holding the most famous receipt on the internet. They try to order. The machine hears something else. On the order screen, chicken McNuggets begin to multiply. 10, then 40, then 100. They shout stop. The machine does not stop. The counter finally settles at 260. The voice belongs to a system called automated order taking, built by McDonald's and IBM, live in more than 100 restaurants. It is one of the most ambitious customer-facing AI deployments on Earth, and it is failing in the most public way imaginable. This is the story of why one of the most capable companies in the world could not teach a machine to take a lunch order, and why the obvious lesson is the wrong one. To understand the nuggets, rewind to 2021. McDonald's, a decade into reinventing itself as a digital company, signs a partnership with IBM to automate the drive-thru. The pilot grows fast, past 100 restaurants across the United States. For 3 years, it is the reference case for AI meeting the physical world. And the timing was no accident. In 2021, restaurants could not hire. Wages were climbing, lanes were slowing, and every operator in America was staring at an empty schedule board. Into that desperation walked a machine that never calls in sick. The drive-thru robot was never just a gadget, it was a salvation story. On paper, no job in the company looked easier to automate. A drive-thru order is a script with a menu attached. The vocabulary is finite, the grammar is simple, and in the lab, the model heard every single word because the lab was quiet. And the prize was enormous. McDonald's runs roughly 40,000 restaurants, and in the United States, most orders roll through the lane. Shave seconds off every transaction, take labor off the speaker box, and the savings compound across millions of orders a day. The math wrote its own slide deck. The system worked like this. A microphone at the speaker box captures the order. A model transcribes it and parses it into items. The order lands on the screen, the kitchen fires, the lane keeps moving, no human in the loop. Remove the person, keep the speed. That was the plan. And the industry believed. For 3 years, automated order taking is the proof point in every keynote about AI facing real customers. If the machines could survive the lunch rush, the thinking went, they could survive anywhere. The trade press loved it. The analysts loved it. The demo, as always, performed beautifully. Which brings us back to that order screen and a counter that would not stop climbing. So here is the question this case file exists to answer. How did 3 years of world-class engineering lose a fight with a parking lot? Start with the physics. A drive-thru lane is, by some accounts, the noisiest order environment in all of retail. Idling engines, wind shearing across the microphone, a backseat full of kids, car radios, accents from everywhere, ordering combinations that exist in no training set. The lab had none of it. The lane had all of it, all at once. And when the model misheard, it did not fail quietly, it failed on camera. Bacon appears on a stranger's ice cream. 9 sweet teas arrive for a customer who wanted one. 260 nuggets stack up on a single glowing screen. Each clip finds an audience of millions and the pile keeps growing. Here is the asymmetry that killed the project. In controlled tests, accuracy looked excellent. Clean audio, scripted orders, patient speakers. At the real speaker box, accuracy fell exactly when the moment got messy. And in a drive-thru, the messy moment is not the edge case. The messy moment is the lunch rush. It is the business. Then count the hidden invoice. Every misheard order pulled an employee back in to untangle it. So the labor came back, plus a new job, supervising the machine. Crew members stood watching a screen they used to operate, ready to grab the headset. The system that was supposed to remove a human added a babysitter. And there was a cost no spreadsheet carried. The brand. McDonald's spends billions to feel reliable. The same fries in Tokyo and Toledo. Every viral clip taxed that reliability in front of an audience no ad budget could buy back. The machine wasn't just getting orders wrong. It was getting them wrong in public, wearing the golden arches. By June 2024, the math no longer needed a meeting. McDonald's tells more than 100 franchisees to shut the system down by the end of July. 3 years of engineering unplugged in a memo. The most public AI test on Earth was over, and the speaker boxes went human again. And the postmortems all reached for the same comfortable lesson. The technology just wasn't ready. Give the models 2 more years, the thinking went, and the drive-thru would fall like everything else. Comfortable, tidy, and wrong. Because the model was never the thing that failed. Here is what actually failed, and it is the lesson of this entire file. You cannot automate a mess. The mess wins, with extra nuggets. Think about what that model actually met at the speaker box. Decades of menu sprawl, regional variations nobody ever catalogued, promotions stacked on promotions, an ordering process that lived in the muscle memory of 16-year-olds. The machine did not meet a lunch order. It met every shortcut the business had ever taken, at full volume, with the wind blowing. In the language of our framework, McDonald's bolted the roof of the stack onto a broken middle. The process layer, the menu logic, the order flow, the written down truth of how a store actually runs, was the mess the model met. And the weak layer caps everything above it. You break at the layer you ignored. So the rebuild starts below the machine, not at it. Shrink the surface. Fewer menu states, simpler choices at the lane. Write the process down until a stranger could run it from the page. Then pilot small enough that a failure is a lesson, not a headline. It is boring work. That is exactly why the 5% do it. There is hard data behind that patience. MIT's researchers found 95% of corporate AI initiatives return nothing to the bottom line. And the 5% that succeed mostly buy proven tools instead of building vanity ones, reaching production at roughly twice the rate. McDonald's built a moonshot. The winners buy a wrench. Because here is the twist. The drive-thru did not stay human. In 2026, the second wave arrived. McDonald's is back, quietly this time, with Google instead of IBM. Taco Bell ran voice AI into hundreds of stores. The technology came back. What changed was the strategy. Look at the shape of the second attempt. Not 100 restaurants, 5. Over 1 million orders processed at roughly 90% reported accuracy before anyone breathed the word scale. The first time McDonald's bought a demo and deployed it. This time it is running an experiment and measuring it. Same company, opposite posture. Taco Bell's arc tells the same story from the other side. It scaled fast. Hundreds of stores, nearly 900 by April. Then a prank order for 18,000 cups of water went viral, and the company publicly paused to rethink where the machine belongs. The mess once again got a vote. And if you think this is a fast food story, look at your own office. Gartner's researchers put today's autonomous agents at roughly 70% failure on common office tasks. Your workflows have wind and crosstalk too. They're just called reply all threads and undocumented exceptions. Same physics, quieter microphones. Remember the counter? 10, 40, 100, 260, while 2 people shouted stop? Every company that deploys AI onto a mess builds one of those counters. A dashboard climbing in the wrong direction, in public, while everyone watches and nobody can reach the off switch. And if you are watching this from inside a company that is about to point an agent at a process nobody has written down, the menu sprawl, the tribal shortcuts, the workflow that lives in one veteran's muscle memory, understand what you are actually building. You are building a drive-thru. The wind is coming. Because the lesson of the nuggets was never that machines can't work a lane. It is that machines inherit the order of the world you hand them. Hand them a clean system and AI looks like a miracle. Hand them your mess and it orders 260 nuggets. On camera. 3 lessons from the file. 1. Clean before you automate. The model meets your mess at full volume. 2. Pilot small enough that failure teaches instead of trends. 3. Judge AI in production, never in the demo. The demo is quiet and your business is not. This was case file 1, the loudest failure in the morgue and the most misunderstood. Next in the series, a grieving man asks an airline's chatbot one question and a court has to decide who owns the answer.